Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Hey, today I'm going to give you a breakdown of the economic aid to hard hit small businesses, nonprofit, and venues act. I know I've had a couple of videos in regards to the different grants, the economic stimulus bill, and the different programs that the government has provided. But today, well, I never really gave you guys anything visual, gave you more so links to everything. But what I want to go over today is pretty much a breakdown of the whole program, where it's affecting small businesses, some of the pros, cons of all the programs that are available, and the different steps you need to take advantage of it. Okay. Again, this is Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. You know, on Mr. Short Dollar, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. You know, as always, to stay abreast of all the information that we give out on Mr. Short Dollar, just hit that dollar sign in the bottom right hand corner. Okay, the information that I'm going to present to you guys today is from the University of Georgia Small Business Development Center, or the SBDC. They're a branch of the SBA on the localized level with the state of Georgia. I know different states have different programs that they deal with the SBA, but the SBDC is the arm for the state of Georgia, and again, it's the Small Business Development Center. It's been a great program. I've used them several times over the years. I was acquired funding from the SBA, you know, personally on three different businesses of mine. This is all pre-COVID and everything, so it's a great organization for anybody, especially in the state of Georgia, to take advantage of. But I'm pretty sure every state has their own branch of the SBA that citizens can take advantage of, as far as getting assistance with funding, assistance in operating their business, or assistance in even acquiring new businesses. We're dealing with the SBA. But going back with the video, we're talking about the economic aid that's given out to small businesses. Some of the key components we want to just talk about with everything is, number one, that second draw of the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program, targeted COVID-19 Eidl advance, that's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan advance, SBA Guaranteed Loan Debt Relief, which is awesome, targeted programs for hardest hit businesses, disadvantaged business, and also resolves tax treatment of PPP forgiveness and debt relief payments. Okay. All right, let's start off first. We're talking about the second draw of the PPP, or Payroll Protection Program. Okay, first, what we're going to look at it, because I want to. One big thing with it is that, and I appreciate you guys being interactive and giving me calls. Because, you know, I leave my office number on to reach out in regards to the PPP, the stimulus bill, even getting the idle loan and everything. A lot of the answers to a lot of the questions I've been given, we're going to go over right now. So it's very, very important. If you do have any questions about the PPP or the idle loan, you need to make sure you look through this whole video, okay? First thing we're going through right now is just the second draw of the PPP program, okay? We're stating that to be eligible business, you must be experienced at least one quarter in 2020 with revenues of 25% below corresponding 2019 quarter. Okay, what that means is you have to have, when you're looking at quarter to quarter, say first quarter 2019 being January through March 2019, in relation to the first quarter 2020, that being January through March 2020, there was a 25% decrease in revenue. Again, when you're talking about a respective quarter for quarter from 2019 to 2020, there was a 25% revenue wherever you find it. Okay. We're talking about if it's first, second, third, or fourth quarter. If you can match up and show there's been a quarter% of decreased revenue from 2019 to 2020, that's you're eligible for with that. You can have no more than 300 employees. You must have or will use full amount of the PPP loans from the first one. Okay, so what that means is if you have the PPP loan, you know, again, we're talking about the second draw. So if you did acquire the PPP loan in 2020, you have to use all those funds. All that disbursement has to be used before you get the second disbursement. Okay, all of it. Okay, same business type of qualify for the initial loan. Okay, and everything has to be in, and the business had to be started, had to have been started by February 15th, 2020. That's that's one of the things I think is catching a lot of people. A lot of people started a business last year, but they started it maybe in the summer, the fall, or even late spring. And I had to tell them like, look, you don't qualify for the PPP because you had to been in operation by February 15, 2020. That's very important because I've been getting that question a lot from a lot of people. Okay, we talk about the loan limits of 2 million and 10 million if combined with the first PPP based on, again, and this is kind of commonplace when we talk about the PPP. You know, the PPP, the loan amount is based on 2.5 times your monthly payroll. So that's 2.5 times your monthly payroll. So for easy math, if your payroll is $60,000 a year, which is $5,000 a month, you multiply that times 2.5. Thank God I'm an accountant. So we got 5,000 times 2.5, and booyah, we got 12,500. That's what you will be awarded for your PPP. It's very easy to calculate. Again, whatever your monthly payroll is times 2.5, that's what you will be awarded for your PPP. Okay, and that number is up to the loan limit is up to $2 million, and then 10 million if it's combined with the first one. Okay, just remember that. Okay, all right. Some additional. Let me scroll down. Give you guys this information here. Let me fit everything in the screen. Okay, I'm not missing anything. Additional eligible expenses, and these are the things that they did add, and I thought it was awesome too. Additional operating expenditures, software, cloud computing, HR, and accounting expenses, property damage or costs, and these were repairs due to public disturbances or things that occurred during the pandemic, especially with riots and stuff due to civil unrest. A lot of times, people insurance, if you had maybe like a liability insurance for your business, a lot of times people don't necessarily get that addendum to cover natural disasters or riots, anything like that, or even acts of terrorism, because you being the good old U.S. of A., you don't think that stuff's going to happen. But some people weren't covered, and that was the thing about it. A lot of times. I even remember some of the riots with the police shootings that were here in Atlanta, and people burned down the buildings. And some people were like, well, they can call. They have insurance, and I don't think people understand, especially if you're a non-business owner. Insurance isn't going to cover everything, especially if you're talking about certain acts that were done. Your insurance may not cover you, or even if they cover it, they may just pay for some of the expenses, but they may not necessarily even put you in a situation where you're back to whole and can start over again. Because especially if you're in a high risk area, depending on where your business is set up, they're just like, no, we're not gonna. We may cover some of the costs, but we're not going to give you an opportunity to rebuild or even cover you anymore. And it may be hard for you to get future insurance because you've already had some kind of damage. You're currently in a high risk area. And insurance companies like, no, we're not going to do that. You guys already just got rioted and burned down. Why would we rebuild or even cover you in this particular area, even if it was rebuilt? So that's something to think about. That's what they're covering now with the property damage and costs. Supplier costs for essential to businesses, that being those one-time expenditures where, say, if your company had to get certain hand sanitizer machines, or you had to get mask dispensers for, just to be in compliance and stay open with your local municipality. Also, a workers' protection expenditure. And we talk about expenditures, the difference between, it's an accounting term, expenditures and expenses. Expenses are like normal costs that you have for day-to-day operations. Expenditures are like one-time purchases you have to have. Like what we're talking about now, you had to buy a whole sanitation package for your employees or even new customers. You may have to buy a certain machine to kind of make sure everything's sanitized and cleaned out. Those are like one-time expenses are called expenditures, not necessarily expenses. That's a little counting one-on-one help for you guys. But again, that workers' protection expenditures, especially people that are working due to COVID-19, again, the mask, you may have to get, again, more sanitation equipment. Some of those equipment people had to get just to spray all the things down. If you didn't outsource, you went about your own machine to spray some of the disinfectant and stuff. Those were those one-time expenditures. You can use the PPP, to be forgiven with that. Also, employer provided group insurance. They can be included with the payroll costs. Um, can I request an increase on PP1 loan if SBA updated regulation will be allowed it? Though, again, that's applying like if you want to increase the first draw and everything, but it's kind of black and white in regards to if you've already been approved for it, you got the money for it, you need to, again, make sure you use that full disbursement. Also covers information about seasonal employers where operates no more than 7 months out of the year, uh, earn no more than one third of its receipts in any 6 month period during any prior calendar year, and can use the highest 12 consecutive rates of payroll between 215.19 and 215.20 to calculate the loan size. Okay, that's in regards to just if you're a seasonal employee, especially with like some things like landscaping, maybe some things that deal with like pools or something like that. Also give in regard to the 501c6, which is more like lobbyist organizations, what they can use it for. And the PPP loan will be available through March 31st, 2021. Again, March 31st, 2021. For loans in particular under $150,000, forgiveness application is now a one-page certification that identifies, number one, number of employees you were able to retain, estimate of amount spent on payroll, total loan amount. Okay, must attest to the use of funds for allowable expenses only. One of the things I think you take consideration when we're looking at the 150,000, I, I this has changed in regards to, I think they had, if it was anything under 50,000, you use that one page sheet. So they bumped that up to $150,000. If you have a loan under that, you can use that one page sheet to put everything down for that. Okay, here's some of the key terms with everything. We're looking at the interest rate with the CARES Act. For the first one, it was 1% for the PPP, 1% interest rate. Same thing with the Flexibility Act, the Final Impact Act, 1%. You're looking at the terms for the first one, 2 years, 5 years. That Final Impact 2 to 5. Deferral period. That deferral period where we're talking about that you have that amount of time before you can start. You're only obligated to start making particular payments. That was the initial 6 months. Then it changed to 10 months. The covered period, we're talking about over 8 weeks is covered. Now you get up to 24 weeks with that. And loan forgiveness limits, the first one was 75. Now we have a minimum of 60%, 6%, and non-payroll expenses was actually increased on this second go round to 40%. Okay, because there was so much weight put on payroll the first go round, some of those operating costs you couldn't really get actually I want to say compensate, be able to take advantage of some of the actual upfront expenses you had, like we talk about the expenditures for the PPP equipment or some of the other expenses you may have had with cleaning and PPE equipment. I'm sorry, PPE equipment and some of the other cleaning expenses that you had, or even one-time purchases. Now there was bundled to 40% that you can cover yourself for that. Okay. Move to the next thing. Again, this is Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. We're talking about the whole breakdown of the economic aid package that was given out to small businesses. Okay. And right here, we're looking at the little grid where the chart rather is talking about term be eligible. Again, remember, this is very, very important because a lot of people have been asking me the same thing. I started my business off in the summer. Can I qualify for the PPP loan? Remember, February 15th, 2020, and less than 300 employees. February 15th, 2020. If you did it after that, you do not qualify, okay? All right, you're looking again at the business is in the business the entire year of 2019. Yes, you must show 1 quarter in 2020 where revenues were 25% less. Again, that's a comparison. Remember, you have to just show 1 quarter. It's not stated if it had to be the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. You just have to show a 25% deduction in revenue from 2019 to 2020. Okay. Say if it was not in business quarter 1, quarter 2, or quarter 3, or quarter 4, 2019, you must show 1 quarter in 2020 revenue at least 25% less than the third and fourth quarter 2019. Okay. If you were not in business at for the first, second, or third, but was in business for the fourth quarter 2019, all right, you must show in 2020 that the fourth quarter 2019 was at least, well, let's just say 1 quarter was less than 25% of that in 2020. Okay, you were not in business during 2019, but was on February 15, 2020. You must show 1 quarter in 2020 that were 25% less than the first quarter of 2020. You get that? Again, if you just open up in 2020, right? before February 15, 2020, you have to show one of those other quarters were decreased by 25% in comparison to that first quarter, okay? All right. And guys, again, you just want to pause and look at the actual chart again. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory with everything. And again, a lot of the questions that are getting asked in regards to eligibility and everything is covered right here on this particular chart. Okay, that's everything with the PPP. We're going to slide down. We're going to talk about the Eidl loan, which is also the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And again, this loan provides economic relief to small businesses and nonprofit organizations that are currently experiencing a temporary loss of revenue. The SBA extended the deadline of the Eidl application to December 31st, 2021. Okay, here's the deal. This is one of the big questions. Everybody, you see all the videos all over YouTube about SBA grants, Eidl grants, and now our advanced grants, $10,000 grants and everything. We're going to go through and break everything down. Again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar. Make sure you hit that dollar sign in the bottom right-hand corner, hit the like button. Feel free to leave comments and additional questions you have on the video. Again, we're talking about the economic aid program provided to small businesses with this latest round of stimulus funding. And right now, we're talking about the Eidl loan, economic injury disaster loan. Looking at the targeted Eidl advance changes, one of the things about it, everything, emergency Eidl grants extended through December 31st of 2021. Okay, repeals to the Eidl advance deduction from forgiveness, they've already been forgiven when will be made. Okay, that meaning that any kind of advance that you get from that is forgiven. Okay, the Eidl advance, you're not on hook for it. The Eidl loan you have to repay, but the actual Eidl advance is forgiven as soon as it's given out. Okay, targeted advances to eligible entities. Okay, here we go. Grosses up the difference between what is granted earlier and $10,000. Okay, provides $10,000 grant to those who did not get grants because funding had run out. So again, if you applied last year in 2020 and you didn't get any kind of funding, they'll let you know now, hey, you can go get it with this next round and everything, okay? You can get it with this next round, okay? To qualify for the full $10,000 Eidl grant, a business must, 1, be located in a low-income community, 2, have suffered an economic loss greater than 30%, and 3, employ no more than 300 employees. Okay. In addition, the business must qualify as an eligible entity as defined in the CARES Act. Small business or cooperative, ESOP tribal with fewer than 300 employees, an individual operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees or as an independent contractor. The business must be in operation by January 31st, 2020. I say again, the business must have been in operation by January 31st, 2020. Not March, not June, not July, not November. It had to be in operation by January 31st, 2020 to qualify for the Eidl advance loan. It's very important. You had to be in operation by January of last year, okay? The business must have been directly affected by COVID-19, okay? We start looking at the term economic loss. The term economic loss means with respect to a covered entity, A, the amount by which the gross receipts of the covered entity declined during an eight-week period between March 2nd, 2020 and December 31st, 2021, relative to a comparable eight-week immediately preceding March 2nd, 2020, or during 2019. If the covered entity is a seasonal business concern, such an amount is determined appropriate by the administrator. So again, we go back to those seasonal companies. Lawn care, I'm just thinking lawn care because again, I know some operate year round, but the bulk of their money is made like during the summertime and stuff. If you can show that on paper where, on your financials, there was a decrease in revenue and everything, it'll still be up to an administrator to get the final say so to see if it's valid or not to get approved, okay? And that's what we talked about, the targeted Eidl advance changes. Again, make sure you guys hitting that dollar sign, hitting the like button and everything. Make sure you feel free to leave the questions in regards to any information that you feel we covered in the video, but make sure you look at the video from beginning to end to just double check it, okay? Now we look at a focus on disadvantaged business. So we talk about disadvantaged business. We look at, it was $15 billion that was set aside for community development financial institutions, CDFI, and minority depository institutions, MDI. Programs targeted at specific business segments, child care providers, transportation providers, and rental assistants. Here's the deal, and I just want to just people, you have to call your local small business office, your community development, small business office, and pretty much the office where you get your business license at, okay? For your particular municipality, city, county, wherever you get your business license, call them and ask them, what kind of federal relief programs and grants do you guys have going? Majority of them got something, okay? They're not going to promote it. They're not going to have a commercial. They're not going to have a sign. You need to call them, whatever local area you're in. If you're in the city of Atlanta, one of the local areas outside it, whatever city you're in, call that particular city. Call the county you're in. Call the state and ask them, what kind of federal funding do you have for small businesses, okay? I'm telling you guys, everybody got money. It's on you to make a phone call. Now, again, let me say this: they receive money. If they still have it or not, that's a whole different question. But you guys have to be very, very diligent and be very, very aggressive with reaching out to these entities and finding out if they have anything available. Okay. Scroll up here. Next, we're going to look at the SBA guaranteed loan debt relief. Now, this is something near dear to me because I have SBA loans, not the COVID loans, anything. I had SBA loans prior to the whole pandemic COVID happening, right? And they did a moratorium where they took out 6 months of payments where they paid. So now we're looking at it now. They're going to start by paying 3 months, starting with February 2021 on our loan payments. Okay, so this helps me out personally a lot. Again, the SBA guaranteed loan debt relief, where they pay an additional 3 months of principal and interest on the existing 7A, 504, and micro loans. This began, like I stated before, February 2021, and it'd be capped at $9,000 a month. After 3 months, businesses with selected NAICS codes will receive an additional 5 months of principal and interest payments capped at $9,000. Designated NAIC codes, have them listed right here. Just you can do a Google search and to find out which ones. The way NAIC codes, these are covered. Improvements that have been made to the SBA 7A program. They've increased SBA guarantee level to 90%, okay? And they've also reduced or eliminated some fees. The good part when you deal with the SBA loan, SBA doesn't necessarily give you loans out in regards to a regular SBA loan. They're like kind of like the VA, they back the loans. They're like a guarantee, saying that, hey, you can, this person may have some things that probably, maybe a little challenge here and there, nothing major, but they'll let a lender know that, hey, we're backing this loan. So if anything happens, we'll back the loan. And it makes it a lot easier for you to attain a loan if you don't have certain experiences or collateral with that. So they're just saying there are some fees in regards to, just like any other loan, some of those discovery fees or preparatory fees we're getting, the loan prepared. They're saying they're going to waive some of those loans for you guys, some of those fees for you guys. Okay. Again, that's the SBA guaranteed loan debt relief. Up to 3 months of principal interest is going to be paid for people who currently have SBA loans. Okay. The next one is the grants for shutter venue operators. I got a video coming out where I'm going to go over the shutter venues operators and these grants. They had $15 million that was allocated by the SBA. What they're covering is the theatrical producers and talent representatives. And this is going toward operators of live venues, that being theaters, museums, anything to deal with motion pictures. They're giving grants out to these people like crazy. And like I said, I got a video. I'm trying to have it out by the end of this week in regards to it. I just got some more information, and I want to make sure I covered it. But a lot of places that like that with that were like public open venues, the theaters, museums, they were slammed by COVID because again they just had to shut down altogether. So these grants to help cover them must demonstrate a 25% reduction in revenue, can be up to $10 million with a potential supplement of 50%. $2 billion set aside for those with less than 50 employees. Okay, time for the grants. In the initial 14 days, Grants will be exclusively made to those with 90% or greater revenue loss. In the second 14 days, grants will be to those with 70% or greater loss. After these two rounds, all other qualified entities will receive awards. Note, if you receive a grant, you cannot participate in the PPP2. You hear me? If you receive a grant, you cannot get a second draw of the PPP. Very, very, very important. Okay. So you need to do your math on the front end to kind of see which one's going to be more beneficial to you for you to receive this grant or to try to acquire the PPP loan as a second draw. Okay. That's just for the second draw. All right. Next, we go on to the resolution of tax issues. Right. This is expenses paid by PPP funds can be claimed as business expenses. There we go. So it's resolved the IRS and Treasury guidance that this would constitute double dipping and they couldn't be used as business expenses. And what that means is that initially they were saying that the PPP, the actual items that you couldn't, that you claim were to be forgiven under the PPP, the government was saying at first you couldn't put that on your, write it off of your taxes. Because theoretically you would double dip it. But now they're saying that, hey, you can use them, you can claim them as business expenses. Okay, I understand the IRS side of it, but now they're saying, hey, look, forget it. You guys are going to use, you've been in a distress situation, going to use and take advantage of it. Okay. The other one is debt relief payment of principal and interest will not be treated as income. It's another great thing. So before, what I was saying, the SBA and the government was paying principal and interest on current loans that people had. Now it's not, and it had to be picked up as revenue. Now, one thing I do want to pick up, the federal grants is not the case, but a lot of these other grants, and I try to make this known in a lot of my videos, you do have to pick this a lot of those grants up as income on your tax return. And again, that's the case with these right here in particular. They're just saying that the principal interest that you receive from the SBA towards those particular loans that you already have, they do not have to be picked up as income. It reverses recent guidance that was required lenders to issue 1099s to 1099 forms to borrowers benefiting this program, and it makes the language retroactive as if it were included in the original CARES Act. That's huge right there, because again, one moment you think you got some kind of assistance, and then next thing you know, you're sitting there worried about, man, I got to pick this up as income. You weren't even thinking about it. And here's the deal. Here's what you can do now. Pull together your financial information, and when you're ready, you go to your bank portals and you apply for the PPP. The PPP is simply just go to whoever you have your business loan with and apply with them. There are a lot of people out here charging to do the PPP and stuff like that. You don't have to pay anybody. You can go and just to your bank and just apply. You can go to SBA's website and apply for the Eidl loan and everything. So you don't have to pay anybody. There are a lot of people out here, I think they're being sharks, let people know, and they can do it for them. Now, with that same note, if you're just like, look, I'm just good at what I do, I don't feel like touching it. Okay, I don't see nothing wrong with doing it. Will you be overcharged? Who knows? And then that's a great word too. Will you be overcharged? But I just want to let everyone know you don't have to pay anybody. You can go to your bank and apply for the PPP, or you can go to the SBA's website and use the link and apply for the Eidl loan and the Eidl grant and everything. So I hope that information helped you guys. Again, this was from the University of Georgia SBDC office. Just kind of give you guys a quick breakdown on the economic aid program that was provided for small businesses. Guys, I want you to make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, to just stay abreast of a lot more information we got coming out, because we're going to need each other. We're going to need to be each other to share information, to help each other out, because 2020 was rough, and 2021 I think it's going to be difficult, but I think it's going to be a whole lot better because we've been through a major rough part, and also we've been equipped with some knowledge to assist us in the future, and also put us in a situation to assist each other. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, share the video, tell everybody about Mr. Short Dollar, all the great information he's providing to everyone, but also ask your questions, because again, we're a family, we're a community, and I think a lot of the information people are asking questions and stuff, they, even when I give an answer out or someone else answers, where are they helping each other? Okay, so I want you guys to make sure you're being safe out there. Hit that dollar sign in the bottom right hand corner. Make sure you subscribe to Mr. YouTube, Mr. not Mr. YouTube, Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. Make sure you check out our weekly show every other Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our next show is going to be this Thursday, uh, January 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Haven't got the subject lined up yet right now, but we're going to have a great show coming up and everything. But I look forward to hearing from you guys, getting the feedback, take advantage of this information, everyone. Be safe, and I'll talk to you later.